Hey, what's going on, team? I hope everyone's doing well. In today's video, we're going to take a look at this dude. Yeah, this is Motor, or actually they call him Burst Gallop, and this is Craftsman Toys Afterburner, and what a beautiful piece. What an exquisitely just gorgeous, gorgeous piece overall. And you know, the first of the three that I got to review was this cat, Steel Drill, aka Nose Cone. And once I got to sample this dude, I knew the rest of the squad was going to be fire. And this guy we haven't reviewed yet, but we will soon. And this is their scatter shot. Also looks incredible. I think the head might be maybe just a little bit too big, maybe just a tad bit, like a couple of percentages too big, but nonetheless, he also looks really, really good. And honestly, this is the team that I've been most excited for, at least in the legend scale. And you know what? Let me actually clean this up so we can talk about him some more without the focus kind of blah, 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 messing with us. Okay, let me start peeling these bits off. And I was going to say, yeah, I got to review Steel Drill last year, and immediately, and by the way, these are the 3 accessories that he comes with. 2 side blasters for the vehicle and 1 hand blaster. And the side blaster, if you wanted, you can actually flip out. You might need a little like spudger to get in there, but there's a little handle that you can kind of flip out, and he can equip it into his hand. But there's also a variety of places that you can place this on the vehicle. Any of these ports that you see right over here, right over here, right over here, they're all like equipable with this thing. So lots of cool play patterns that you can explore with the various accessories. You can have that there. Where's the other one? You can have that there, whatever you like. Yeah. But what I was saying, sorry, just interrupting myself all the time. Last year when I got to experience Steel Drill, I was like, this is such an exquisite piece. By the way, I'm going to start peeling this guy apart. I knew I wanted the rest of the team like immediately. And I feel like this is another company, kind of like an off branch, an offshoot, because like, I don't know, man, for their first release, this is like a home run, you know? And typically if this is your first time out the gate, you're going to have a couple of fumbles, hits and misses, but not these guys. It's just grand slam, you know? So I feel like it kind of has like an Iron Factory vibe to it to some degree, or King Toys even at this scale, because it utilizes some familiar and similar gimmicks and also manufacturing, but I don't know, I could be wrong. By the way, the arm that I just kind of untabbed it's tabbed together on this, you see that beneath the tire? There's this kind of like dovetail tab mechanism, and so this actually holds this in place, which I think is cool, versus just kind of lining up over there. And so we're going to move that to the back. I am going to say that he's not without his faults. And whereas this guy, he's not wiggly wobbly at all. His legs, some of the aspects are a little bit looser. And then the feet, his robot feet are a bit nightmarish in that they're just way too tight. I had to unscrew both of them. And as a result of the first time... Hey, really quick with the commercial break from our sponsor, TF Safari, tfsafari.com. Check them out for all of your mecha needs from first, second, third, fourth party. They also do upgrades as well. You're not going to find a lot of sites that cater to different tastes and needs. tfsafari.com. And if you do go there, utilize the codes that you see on the top right corner of the screen and save yourself a little bit of change, man. They are a very reliable vendor. They are out of China. They ship to you in about 2 weeks, super sturdy boxes. And yeah, tfsafari.com. Can't say enough nice things about them. And so thank you so much, TF Safari, for sponsoring this video. Man, the first time I tried to mess with the foot, I ended up getting a stress mark, and I'm going to show you that. This part over here is cool. This translucent bit actually is tabbing in and holding these bits in place. You can see that they're tabbed in over there, right? And so you're going to peel this back, and this bar is interesting. I'm on the kind of fence about it. They actually move in unison, and I'm not sure if that was necessary. It's just held in by a screw and a bolt, and so yeah, I don't know. It makes it so that like when you move it around, you have to move it in unison. I don't know if I'm a big fan of that, but let me just keep going through the transformation, and so I can show you the beautiful robot mode. And also when we get into arm mode, there is going to be a an area that needs a little bit more finesse in my opinion, and that is pulling out the combiner port. But there is a way to do it, and again, I will show you all of that. These bits on the original G1 toy used to be the hand blasters that he came with. Now they're integrated. And he also did come with this hand blaster as well. And he came with one long form long form. Like this and this used to be combined, I think. Maybe that was it. I don't know, man. Or I'm making stuff up. I don't know. I'm old, dude. It's hard to trust my memory these days. This bit you're going to open up, and then you're going to open up this entire leg piece. This is the part that's troublesome. Okay. This is a toe. This is the front toe. What you're going to do is just peel that. You're going to peel it down. You see how that rotates smoothly? It's because I've, where is it? Right here. I've loosened up that screw. It was just crazy squeaky tight. And I was like, dude, I'm going to break this. And so I had to do that. But upon doing that, yeah, you can get the toe to flip naturally. Yeah. So after you've done that, what you're going to do is you're going to get this. Oh, you know what? You got to bend this out of the way because you want some clearance. Then you're going to do this. By the way, isn't that thing that MGO says, trans clearance? When he's saying transparent and clear, that fool calls it trans clearance. That's hilarious. You're going to do this, and then you're going to bring this back, and it will, it's supposed to happen back here. Oh, okay. There we go. Sorry. Because there is that little tab right there, and that's going to go into the slot. And it's going to do that. Okay. So that's really the only big headache with the robot mode. And this is the part, it's still tight. You see that it's not like swiveling, but it's not as tight as nose cones is. And so once again, over here, I'm just going to open this all up. Then just start with the toe back here. And then we are going to, yeah, this one's tight. Even though I loosened it up. Oh, you can see that slight stress mark right there, right? Not good, not good. But yeah, just loosen that screw if you have trouble with yours. You don't have to unscrew it all the way, but yeah. So you do that, you can bring that back. You can fold the foot back up. And like I mentioned over here, you can just collapse that and it will tab in. And there, yeah. And then we could just mess with the hands right now. You could flip this bit down. And I like that there's a little place where I could put my nail and flip the fist out. And that's what this does not have. I mean, it does have a ledge, but the first time you're undoing it, you won't be able to use that little lip to do it. But they have provided a bit of a trick that allows you to dislodge the connection piece. And once again, I will show you. So far so good. And look at the aesthetics on him, man. And look at the colors on him. I love the retro vibe that he embodies with this yellow, brown, orange. Kind of reminds me, not yellow, excuse me, yellow, orange, kind of brown. Reminds me of like velour and just colors that they would use rock in the 70s. And yeah. So we can kind of like lift this up. Ultimately, it's going to kind of like hang back because this has to flip out. And this bit, this bar, you have to push it forward and you have to get it over that piece and it's going to slightly flex. So this is also very tight. And as you move it over, you're just going to have to pass those things and it'll just ever so slightly flex. Oh, you know what? There's one thing that I forgot to do. These bits you are going to fold in like so. Okay. Then now over here, you can lift this up. You can bring this back. And I'm trying to remember if this sits over it. Yeah, there you go. And that folds up like that. And these fold down like that. And there we have him in his robot mode. Let me add the accessories and clean him up, and I'll be right back. All right, here he is, and boy, does he look good. Boy, does he look good, right? Love those visors on him, too. Just love that little extra bit of detail that they provided. And this chest bit is just kind of very reminiscent of the G1 combiner port thing. And like I mentioned, these can kind of apply in various areas wherever you see those different ports. Can't see them anymore. But anyway, they're adorned all over the bot. And okay, you know what? That was another one of them. He cleans up nice. He cleans up real nice. And yeah, despite what I said about the legs and stuff like that, you see he's not wibbly wobbly and stuff. So pretty stiff grip. Not as much as steel drill, but still nonetheless very, very good. He has his little hand blaster over here, and articulation wise, he has a bunch of universals in terms of just how they operate. This is really smart. I like the fact that this, you can kind of bend it forward if you needed to. And so he really, really has a wide range of motion with regard to the arms. Same thing for the forearms as well. I mean, all modern stuff that you're kind of used to. This is somewhat impeded by this, but if you wanted to get this out of the way, you could kind of do that. But nonetheless, that's that. And then he has swivels and universals and stuff like that. And yeah, something's kind of like getting in the way. He doesn't really have a crunch. Well, I take that back. He does if you pull this up, because this is the combiner port. And if you wanted, you could kind of do that. And so, yeah, I guess that counts. But it does reveal kind of like the belly combiner, not combiner port, the combiner limb, the hinge for the elbow. No, but overall, like, he's a great looking toy, man. Great looking toy. A ton of presence, just sculpt wise, very, very clean, well detailed, not overdone, not gaudy. It's just like, yeah, it's not cheap, and embodies the same look and feel of the G1 guy. And yeah, I couldn't be more pleased with this. Again, I do wish some of the areas where the tolerance were better here. Like, I feel like this is a little bit softer than I'd like. I wish the feet were a tad bit looser than they are. But minor gripes for an otherwise really just good looking figure. Yeah, lots of great things that you can do, a ton of playability. And you saw the alt mode. The conversion to this bot mode is not too bad. This, I think, cleans up pretty well for the most part. But let me show you the combined mode now. And the combined mode is probably easier to do from the robot mode. And then I'll show you kind of those prickly pain points. Alrighty, Betty Whitey, let's get him into his arm mode. And this part over here, the head and the combiner port, that's probably the most cumbersome and tricky area. And next are the super tight feet. But let's start with the kind of troublesome area first. So what we're going to do is we want to get as much clearance as possible for the head. And so start kind of like peeling the stuff out. It's not that we're going to convert it back into alt mode. We just kind of need some clearance. And so we can kind of get this all out of the way, because you want to bring this down as far as possible. And that's about as far as it's going to go. I mean, there's a little stopper over here. And so now we can kind of lift up the head. I do have a spudger with me just in case, but I'm hoping that we don't need it. So you can see that there's a little lip over here, right? And that if you press it, it's meant to flip this out. But the first time that you try it, it's going to be incredibly tough. And so what I found is that if you open this up, this is going to be the elbow joint, right? You can see that there's this gap in there, and you can use that space to basically coax out the combiner piece. But that's not optimal, and I don't like that at all. I am happy that there is an area that allows you to maneuver, but still wasn't fun the first time. And this is never fun, what I'm about to do right now. So you need to spin the head around so that it sits in here. Bro, there is so little clearance. And like, the head is always just rubbing up against stuff. I don't like that. And then you can get everything to kind of push back and sit in there. That's one of my least favorite parts. And then we're going to keep that at an angle. But at least we got through that. It's a lot easier now that I'm doing it like the third time. And this is going to sit up like that, I think. And we're going to hide the fists. And maybe it was bent. Yeah, you know what? I think it was bent. And it's plugging into the side of the wheel like that. Okay. As far as this bit goes, what you're going to do is those flaps that we folded in earlier for the sake of robot mode, we're going to open those back up. You know what? You're going to lift this up because you need, I forgot. this bit still needs to compress. It has to sit down. Let me just make sure that's sitting in there properly. Yeah, I think it's right, but because I know this is not at a perfect straight angle, and this might be it. Let me just double check off camera, okay? You know what, in the manual, they actually have it like this, but I don't know, man. This is kind of cool too. I actually like the fact that it kind of lines up against the arm. We'll see. We'll just kind of do that right now, and then we'll see if the aesthetics are messy later on. Okay. This, by the way, is on a double spin. There's one at the waist, and then there is one up at the top. And of course, you'll want to orient the top one. So that the elbow is facing outward. And then this is going to be configured so that these brown parts, you know what, it might be, well, anyway, we'll figure it out in a second. And so what you're going to do over here is kind of replicate what you were doing earlier. You're going to flip this out. You're going to bring the little windshields out. You're going to open up the back piece. And now what you're going to do is you're going to spin the toe up, because this has to be facing this way. It's going to be, this little hook that you see at the end of the heel is actually going to tab in. So what you need to do is just spin that up. Dude, I mean, you heard all the squeakity squawk there, right? I had to unscrew it. Otherwise, it wasn't going to work. So you just want to open this all up. And what you're going to do is you're going to bend it. See how there's a double hinge over here? You want to make it so that the majority of the leg is housed inside this, but I think I did something wrong, because what's supposed to happen is that piece is supposed to line up here. So maybe I need to flip the toe in a little bit more. Dude, I like literally just did this off camera a second ago. There we go. And then this, if you've done everything right, you can do that. And then this, you will double hinge over, and you see those tabs over here. It's going to slot into the thigh and lock it in place like so. Okay, finally got it done. Same thing on this side. Open this up. Open this bit up. Fish out the window. Oh, and we got to spin the toe. Oh, okay, this one's easier. And then bring that all the way back so that the thigh is hidden in there. And if we've done it properly, we'll be able to tab that in. And I think I did it properly. Nice, nice. What I'm not doing properly is keeping this in the middle of the shot, so I apologize about that. And we'll get this to sit in there. We'll get that to close up. And that is pretty much the arm. And then we'll pull these out so that you can do this. Oh, I forgot to bring the fist. Give me 1 second. All right, so here's the fist and wrist, and it's done extremely well. You know, when I actually got this, it was misassembled. The thumb was on the other side. I was like, oh, they packed in the wrong fist. And I was like, oh, wait, I could just pop off the thumb. And I did. You're going to get this, and you are going to get this to basically just slide. See these bits? It will fit into this channel. And that will go in there nice and secure, my dear. And once you got it right, this will line up flush. And then you can twist the fist. Is it oriented like that, or is it oriented like that? I think it's oriented like that. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And that is the arm. Fingers are done really well, by the way. They feel nice and secure. Good like wrist articulation. Can't do the full like repulsor blast wrist fold, but still overall not bad. And then of course you can adorn it with the various accessories. You can get that in there. I do love the way that this all like secures though. I think that's very, very nice. But just, yeah, a little bit of squeaky squawky. They just needed a little bit more QA and finesse in terms of what they were doing. And then this, they said, I think it's supposed to just pop in there like that. And yo, that's the arm for Computron from Craftsman Toys. I forget what they call them, what their name for their Computron is. So that's how the tire is eye-oriented, but like I said, in the instructions, it has it like that. And that's fine too, actually. Maybe that's cooler. Yeah. But either way, that is the arm, my friends. And you saw that he does have elbow bend over here. And the more accessories you move out of the way, obviously, you're going to get better range of motion. The sculpt does get kind of broken up over here, but I'm not too hateful. You do have rotation, whether it's on the top, so that you can call that a bicep or a forearm rotation, but it's definitely there. And this moves up and down, but of course, the spinning mechanic is probably going to be present on Scattershot. And you can see the teeth over here, how everything's going to slide in. So pretty excited about that. And so now we have an arm, we have a torso, and we have a leg. And so just 2 more members to go. Far out, right? What a cool set. What a cool set. Steel Drill. Steel Drill, I gave a 10 out of 10. And for all modes, 10 out of 10. This guy, I'll give him an 8.5 out of 10. I think the design is a 10 of 10, but I think the way the feet are not finessed, the way the head is not finessed, that docks it a couple of points. So 8.5 or 9, but still really, really, really strong, high recommendation from me for this set, Craftsman Toys Computron. And yeah, if you're interested, you can pick yours up at tfsafari.com and utilize the codes, top right corner of your screen. I appreciate y'all being here, team. Really, really do. Thank you for your generous donation of time, and let's catch up next time. Okay, Mustard? Bye.